We're very excited to have you here today. You are our newest customer, I think officially newest customer. I'd love for you to take a moment to introduce yourself because you wear a lot of hats. So if you don't mind sharing what Genpact does and also introducing your role.
Oh, absolutely, and thank you, Carrie, for having us here. Really glad about the new relationship we kind of embarked on recently. Quick bit about maybe myself. I just maybe introduce Genpact as well for the people who are here. So, as Genpact, we are advanced technology services, data services, advisory, as well as operations, global enterprise. Support 800 plus clients today, present in about 35 plus countries. And I represent risk advisory within Genpact. We call it ERC. And this is a practice which is nearly 2 decades old. I should say 2 decades young. About 1,500 plus risk experts supporting about 155 clients this year. So that's what I represent. I lead audit and controls globally for Genpact's risk advisory. Glad to be here and excited. I think congratulations for the announcements you made yesterday. Pretty exciting stuff on the agents.
Yeah, I'm excited. There's one thing you didn't share about yourself that I learned last night at dinner. So I haven't asked for permission to share this, but I'm going to. So you have never lost a client in your entire career. That's what you told me last night at dinner. That's pretty awesome.
Really proud of that.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Testament to your relationships with people. So can we start off by you sharing what led you to explore a partnership with DataSnipper in the first place?
Oh, yeah, surely. In fact, I remember April earlier this year, the GAM, the Great Audit Minds IA conference, which is where we were kind of looking for, pretty impressive lineup this year about the digital offerings in the audit and the risk management space. That's where we kind of came across DataSnipper. And I think multiple things, felt right for DataSnipper. The product, first of all, I think very simple and practical and relevant, to our and our client needs. I think the savings clearly appear to be real. The demo, I think also that, I think Paxton must be here. He showed me the demo. So hit all the right notes. In the areas of stuff which is manual, stuff which is repeatable, stuff which also has a sort of a scale potential to it. So clearly, I think there was multiple aspects to DataSnipper which felt like very, very relevant to our and our clients' needs.
Awesome. Shout out to Paxton Kedar, our key champion at Genpact, is probably somewhere in this room. There he is. Lots of work from Kedar to get us to this place, so thank you. When you're evaluating options for tooling and partnerships, what stood out about the relationship with DataSnipper for you? We've talked a lot about relationship, and I think you mentioned one of your bigger clients recently said that 60% of it's relationship, 40% of it solutions. We'd love your insight there in regards to DataSnipper specifically.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think a very positive experience we had, with DataSnipper. I think each and every interaction we had brought in some new value, which is we all, definitely care for. I think you all were listening very intently to our objectives, really trying to understand, and not just that, also, really caring for going the distance to make it work. And I think when you get that kind of overall feel in the relationship, you kind of know that it is going right and it's going to get you to the right objectives. So absolutely a very positive experience.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. I mean, I think some of the greatest relationships I've had with customers have been when we have a champion like Kedar leading on your side, we have executive buy-in, and we're talking openly and transparently about some of the hurdles. Were there any unexpected insights or lessons that came from the purchasing journey? I mean, I have the ones that we learned. You're a large organization, so there's a lot to navigate. So I think like a lot of folks in the room might be thinking about how to navigate their own organizations to purchase something like this.
Oh, yeah. I think there is always a lot to learn, and we kind of always try and embrace and believe ourselves to have a startup mindset, because that's a mindset which kind of makes you continuously kind of innovate, create new stuff. But sort of coming back to your question, I think a few things there. So when we started off, I think the way you all made our objectives into a project of sorts. I think this entire journey of purchasing, you made a project, and then the way you kind of understood our priorities and created metrics out of it, something that, in every meeting we would go back and track, hey, how far are we achieving, how are we kind of, good at getting there. I think that was really something that we saw as valuable. And then the other aspects, which are really also valuable is that you made us meet a lot of your functional leaders, product partnerships, even your clients, right? And I think that again brought value. And I'll share an example. One of your clients we spoke to, they did share that, hey, if you really want to get the right value out of DataSnipper, you will have to ensure they invest in the right training. The team, the training team that you get access to is also going to make a difference to what the overall kind of value you as an organization are going to sort of take out. So very valuable. And then also this other aspect, which you brought up, which was new for us, which is about the design collaboration. So our teams, as potentially they get to use it, and our clients, become kind of crowdsourcing of, ideas and innovation and inputs for your design. And it really kind of values us because the more improved your offerings are, the more value we can take back to our clients. So multiple things, lots of learnings for us as well. Yes.
Yeah, it was great to connect you with Tilo early in the process. Our VP of Product Engineering gave a keynote yesterday. He did show everyone the design partnership, and we definitely want to design based on customer feedback. I think that's the best way to build amazing products. So we appreciate you leaning in and look forward to doing more together
100%.
Once you start using the tool, because you haven't even started using it yet. You just purchased.
I was joking, asking him, do we also get to co-own the development we do with you? Yeah. He said, we'll think about it.
Yeah. On your side, just from like a more tactical perspective, who's involved in the decisions? Like when you think about like the types of folks in your organization that had to have eyes on this and that you had to work with to get it across the line?
I'd say this is no different from what you would experience, with other clients also. I think the primary has to be, a person or a team whose KRAs are directly impacted with what you kind of provide as offerings. So it was the ERC services, which is what I represent in this case. But also there are the usual suspects, right? You will obviously need InfoSec clearances, and there are multiple rounds of it. And we understand now that the AI InfoSec clearance is a separate aspect. There is legal, there is procurement, there is commercial, there is vendor governance. I think all of those. But I think similarly on DataSnipper side also, you need, for these journeys to be meaningful, you need people who really stay invested in the client's needs and expectations, and wanting to sort of really stay close and learn more about it. And I think that's what you also brought very well to this.
Awesome. So we've talked about this, and I know that you see the future partnership as a competitive advantage, which we'll talk about in a minute. But as a customer of ours, what are you most excited about in terms of potential impact for your teams?
Also, as Genpact, I'm sort of really excited to share that there is a lot that, we are doing, investing in this AI space, making it real for our clients. Within the ERC, which is the Risk Advisory Service line, again, we are pivoting very heavily on building IP and frameworks in the audit space, some of which has also earned us a few patents lately. I think DataSnipper really fits very well, into our strategy and kind of an ecosystem of partners because there is work happening on a lot of low-code, no-code automation. There is collaboration we have with the GRCs like the Workivas and the ServiceNows of the world. But I think what DataSnipper brings in differently in this kind of an ecosystem is that you really enable democratizing and bringing the ability to automate in the hands of our frontline auditors, like no other offering today does, as far as what kind of I've seen. Our teams therefore are able to think and innovate and use DataSnipper in creative ways, and people who use it well can also templatize it, create sequences out of it, which can then be, again, institutionalized, industrialized at a bigger scale. So I think that's one clear differentiation. There is another one, which is where, so we support a lot of our clients with what we call as recovery audits, huge data sets, looking at, unstructured, structured data sets, contracts, POs, invoices, basically looking to mine out the value sitting in there. And I think, again, offerings like Documine that, we kind of seeing are going to bring in a value to it. There are a lot of large sets of reconciliations that need to happen. So do that in a structured manner, again, brings differentiation. So I personally am kind of excited about these advantages, that kind of are being brought to enable our teams to sort of deliver value for our clients. Yes.
Awesome. And I already know the answer to this question, but you can answer it for the audience. Do you see the partnership itself expanding beyond customer-vendor relationship? And if so, what are you most excited about there?
So I think the services we deliver for our clients and the offerings you bring to the mix are so complementary and supplementary to each other that a progression towards us getting to be evangelists of DataSnipper is just natural, right? But I think I also see this relationship taking potentially a lot of different shapes, right? We spoke about briefly about this becoming code developers, code designers, right? So that's a value we bring to each other. I think from there, we also look at potentially maybe something like code transformers, right? I think you are bringing so much of innovation, so much of new additions to your offerings. All of that taking to our clients is enabling a lot of enhanced and speedy transformation. So that's the other kind of look at it. But eventually, it is also about co-piloting growth. And you all have been sort of growing so phenomenally well, and congratulations for that over the last several quarters. We as a enterprise, as a franchise within Genpact also has been sort of growing, and therefore we kind of are looking at new avenues for generating demand, generating leads, and then looking at conversion. Absolutely, those metrics remain key and top of the mind for all of us.
We all have metrics. And you mentioned from a speed perspective how this will elevate the experience for your customers, but are there other things that you're thinking about as you kind of go to market with us, with DataSnipper to your customers that will help elevate your relationship with them?
So if we think of our clients, right, we are supporting chief audit executives at a line 3. We are also supporting controllers, chief accounting officers, even audit leaders at a line 2, and then also line 1, right? So across we have customers to support. If you think of the experience that kind of they would look for and how that experience kind of enhances, I think their expectations are into a few buckets, right? They are really looking for how you are able to do more, with the resources you have, right? Without necessarily impacting your budget outlays. How are you able to, achieve greater coverage? Because there's so much getting added to the audit scope and expectations every year. You really need to sort of find ways to achieve greater coverage without necessarily impacting your budget again. And then how do you infuse AI? How do you bring in automation? How do you make your process more continuous using data? How do you enable better reliance from your stakeholders, including your external auditors? So if you look at DataSnipper today, I think your offerings are impacting the most manual activities that are getting handled in the audit space, and each of these objectives of our stakeholders that I spoke about, they are positively and progressively impacted, which is what we believe is going to certainly kind of plus the experience that our clients have of our services.
And I think customers and clients are looking for thought leadership, right? There's a lot of noise. I think I was sharing with you last night, like my inbox right now in regards to how much is coming at me from an AI perspective is wild. And not everything is true AI. So I think hopefully what it will do is allow you to level up for your customers and show them tools that are actually working, that actually have the right AI and can help them grow.
Well, absolutely. I think if you just look at it, and we were analyzing this, right? Almost 50 to 60% of the effort that goes from our frontline auditors goes into activities like, simple activities, extracting data, then validating it, and then ticking and tying it, and then, kind of how do you store it, and then how do you pull it out back for review. These activities actually account for nearly 50% of all the efforts. And I think those are all the activities which DataSnipper, Uplink, and all these products are kind of impacting. So really, I think there is differentiation, and we're really excited about this immediate value that we are going to be able to kind of offer increasingly for our clients. I think it's been there through low-code, no-code automations, but those are like a few and kind of very dispersed. This kind of, again, brings it like an integrated offering, which, again, is a huge value for chief audit executives, I'm sure.
Awesome. What does success look like for you in this partnership a year from now, 2 years from now?
Yeah, I think overall, if we have been able to achieve a much wider adoption than what we are kind of targeting as of now, and I'm really confident about it, I think there are joint innovation, sort of ideas that we have. We should, surely have been able to kind of in a year's time, make it real for our clients. And then I think the other, aspect also, which kind of more strategically, I think so we have this team, as I was sharing, about 1,500 risk experts globally. And we have to annually invest in training, right? And you would really sort of have a toss-up. Would you want to train them about how to do their, chores well, or would you rather kind of train them on, how to kind of go audit AI, how to, look at the emerging risks, for example, sustainability, all these areas, which are like new regulations, keep coming, right? So you'd rather invest your training in that and then use offerings and, technology like DataSnipper to save on those, training efforts is the way I'm looking at it. So yes, I think in a year, hopefully all these avenues will be able to touch positively.
Awesome. And then we have a lot of different size companies in the room. So small, medium, large, enterprise. What advice do you have to share with other companies considering a similar partnership with DataSnipper?
Yeah, I think product fit in your strategy is a given, right? I mean, that's absolutely a given. And then there are, metrics like in a partnership, you really need to kind of leverage each other's ecosystem. We have an ecosystem, DataSnipper has an ecosystem. So, there have to be synergies and advantages in being able to leverage those ecosystems. There has to be transparency, open communication, as you spoke about. But I think all of that is there. One thing, which sort of is really stands out for me and stood out in this case as well, is that you have to have a common ground on culture and values. I think, the people you get to actually work with, you will in any partnership have multiple situations where, you will need to take decisions, you will need to make choices, right? I think it's important that when you have a common ground on culture and values, those decisions will mostly be about opportunities rather than solving problems. And therefore, I think if there was just one key thing, it would be the common ground in terms of values if two organizations are able to achieve. And we really kind of value that a lot.
Yeah, we do as well. And it's been a pleasure to get to know you. I think for us, it goes both ways, right? The partnership is only as good as both sides. And the trust that we've built in the last few months has, I think, helped us get to this place today and beyond. And we look forward to continuing to invest in it. Also, I am trying to help your daughter with her volleyball career, which I do think has helped the partnership. Vidhya just moved. How long have you been in New York?
Yeah, it's just about 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So he mentioned to me that his daughter was really into sports, and I was like, that's my favorite topic. So what does she play? And he said volleyball, and I'm like, well, this is perfect. I think I spent more time that day finding her club volleyball leagues than I did actually working.
Thank you.
So it's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you. And I also sort of just, your thoughts about us as Genpact, right? Because we have, multiple such sort of conversations, but this was longer, I'll say, because we were really sort of keen that we want to go through the entire proof of concepts that we ran and multiple proof of concepts. How was your experience, kind of working with us?
I mean, it really goes back to Kedar, which he's probably like, can you please stop saying my name in front of this audience? I think when you're working with customers, it's one thing to have the executive relationship, but we really have to have the people on the ground that are doing the work, that are working with the teams daily. You have a very busy job. You're on planes you're like me, you're traveling all over the place. And I think having Paxton and Kedar and our account teams really be in the boat together was a differentiator for this experience for us. I also really appreciated, I talked about it yesterday when we were on stage with Deloitte, but the mutual plan. So the first time I went in your office, the only slide we really showed to you was a mutual plan around like, here's what we recommend for success in this engagement, and what's your feedback? Because it's one thing for us to go and say, this is what we think can work, but that doesn't work. The definition of mutual, obviously, is both sides. So you were very open to give us feedback on that, on timing, on what makes sense for your business, on the nuances of Genpact. I think where we were able to really dig in the pilot was around the types of use cases that we could leverage or help you with. And with Kedar's help and his willingness to come in and collaborate with us and spend a lot of time with us, we were able to uncover, oh, there's not just an opportunity here. There's actually like 4 other use cases that we can leverage, which is bigger engagement long term. And that collaboration goes both ways. And I think if both teams lean in, it can be really effective. And it did take some time, but also we're a new vendor for you. So we talked last night about, some of those challenges, but I do think it was the right amount of time to make sure it's the right solution for you. You were very open about your growth strategy. So you gave me some personal pain around KPIs, which is always helpful for me, because then I can help guide the teams. How are we going to actually help them achieve the growth numbers, which is the #1 top metric they're tracking, and the rest of it is gravy. So I think the way that you came to the table with us and with Kedar's help was great. And then we've been able to have a little fun along the way. We had you at a comedy show. Kedar was supposed to after party last night with Paxton, but he bailed early. So trying to build those personal relationships. I mean, we're all human, and I think we're all doing a lot, but being able to connect on a human level, for me, just takes it to the next level and helps us build trust. So that was something that I really valued in working with all of you, and we'll continue to value as we work together.
Thank you for that. And I'll tell you, I think, on your points on KPIs, while we've gone for, let's say, building about or generating about 10 to 15% capacity, which we are confident about, but I think the fun part will really come when we get to the range of 30, 35, and I'm really confident we should be able to, because we are going to track it very, very closely month on month, and keep coming back to you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get the phone call. I'm shocked you haven't been texting me. We're going to have to exchange cell numbers. We saved about 5 minutes for questions. This is a really exciting partnership for us, starting off with a customer relationship, and we're going to be growing into partnership as we help Genpact service their customers, look at our ecosystems, et cetera. Just wanted to save some time in case there's questions in the audience. And hopefully someone on our team has a microphone, Amir, or someone that could run it around. Don't be shy. It's afternoon now, so you should have had plenty of coffee that I hope you selected from the left side, because I heard that was the better coffee. It's really difficult for me to see, so not one question.
I think there's
there.
Them, yeah.
With so many different stakeholders involved, how do you decide what KPIs are important to everyone, so you don't get lost in tracking KPIs that the stakeholders could measure and then decide whether or not they should be using a tool like DataSnipper or other tools?
It's a great question, so I'll repeat it just so everybody can hear, because I don't know if that microphone is on. So how do you decide on the key KPIs with so many different stakeholders involved in a decision, so that you don't get lost in probably analysis paralysis with your teams?
I think you need to, and absolutely, I think you need to keep it very, very simple. I think the first and the most important, the primary KPI came across at the GAM conference when we saw the first demo, and me and my boss both were there. And we said, hey, can you really sort of, over a global team size of 1,500, generate 10 to 15% capacity out of it? So he said, if we all kind of believe it's possible, let's go for it. So, that there has to be one primary objective, which is kind of overarching. If that is met, then I think the others are kind of, more cherries on the cake. But, when we kind of started this, that was one. And then I think the good thing about us being a consulting and a risk advisory outfit is that we, and we have this strategy that we call Client Zero. We basically are always looking for ourselves to be the best examples of what we can take to our clients, right? And therefore, if our teams are able to embrace and generate value out of this, then I think we can pass it on to the clients as well over a period of time. And I think the value of partnership is that you can actually also resell and co-sell a lot of those licenses. So therefore, those other metrics kind of add to it, but there has to be one primary, which has to be your goalpost.
And I'll say that was something that we appreciated, Paxton and the team, we anchored on that metric every meeting that we had. And we were working together with KR to figure out, like, how do we get to this place? What's missing? What do we need to do to get to this number? And that was the consistent theme. There was obviously other wins that we found throughout the process, but we always anchored on that metric on both sides, both Genpact and DataSnipper, so that they'd feel really confident in moving forward. It's a great question. Anybody else?
I think there's one more question.
Yeah.
How are you measuring against more like qualitative metrics, more ambiguous metrics, such as like improving the quality of your staff's lives? And then are you factoring that into like a potential return on your investment?
Yes, most certainly. In fact, quality itself, while soft, but it's so meaningful. In two ways, we are looking at quality, which is, one, the quality of our reviews, are going to go up, is what we believe with what we've seen of DataSnipper so far. I think the other aspect is that, all of the people who are auditing clients and, looking at very repeatable kind of ways, if you enable them with something new, and if you invest in training, they all feel a lot valued. And we have at Genpact this metric that we track, which is called the mood score. We call it Amber. So, there are periodic surveys, which is like just 5-second surveys that you keep getting. And through that, we are able to track the mood scores of our people. And we are very confident that, enabling people to do their jobs better, faster, also ease up their ways of kind of doing these manual audit checks is going to improve those mood scores as well.
I love that you call that mood scores. You should give everybody a mood ring. You can kind of see the color that you're in for the day. That's great. Good question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Were there any others?
I think there was one question.
We have time for two more. Oh, there's one in the middle. You can yell it if you want.
Yeah, I think a couple of things there. One is that we spent a good amount of time thinking initially before giving it in the hands of our people. Even before the proof of concept. So I think we ran a proof of concept where we said we'll just have about 10 licenses for 3 specific use cases that we identified. One of them was in the recovery audit space. Another one is so we audit globally a lot of T&L for a lot of clients in a COE mode. And then obviously in the controls testing in the manual way. So we actually shortlisted, identified these 3. And then we went about identifying people who really kind of have that knack of trying newer ways and new things. So we just handed those licenses to those people first. And then from their feedback, we get like 10 more ideas in each of these, it becomes 30, right? So, and then, the way you kind of very positively communicate about this, kind of reward people who are bringing up these ideas. Basically, it is to generate that whole energy, which kind of, if there are really good ideas, becomes infectious. So I think that's where we are kind of looking to go in that approach. Hopefully it makes sense.
That's a great answer. And I think the other thing that we've been doing on the DataSnipper side is trying to get on site more with your teams as it makes sense, to do live trainings, get them excited, share how we got there, hand out some swag, and just really bring people together. And we found that's been a really productive way to help our customers spread the word. We can also do different things from a demand gen perspective on the marketing side. But we've really tried to lean in with our customers and help with the adoption and retention as well. Good question. We're out of time. This has been a wonderful conversation. Thanks for being with us. We look forward to the partnership. We'll have you on stage next year.
Thank you. I look forward. Thank you.